This is Jacob from RoboFlow, here today to compare Google Colab versus SageMaker Studio Labs. So SageMaker Studio Labs is the latest iteration of web-hosted notebooks where you can go and you can get free hardware from cloud providers. And so let's talk a little bit about what the history of Jupyter Notebooks has been. So originally when we first started using Jupyter Notebooks, you could fire up this Python programming environment where you had interactive cells and it was really amazing. And you could do all this in your local browser. So you would download it on your local machine and you would fire it up and you'd run it on your local browser. Now, that is awesome, and there were a lot of great advancements that were able to be made on just basic local browser Jupyter Notebooks, but they suffered from two problems. Number one, they are not easily shareable because you have to build this on your local machine and you have to be committing it, and committing notebooks is a mess. We all know that. Number two, most machine learning applications require hardware via a GPU. So if you're using this on your local machine, you probably do not have a GPU. And that's one of the greatest things about these hosted notebooks is that Google Colab came out and you would get a free GPU. So you could get on there, start your Jupyter Notebook, and get a free GPU to run your machine learning training and inference code. And this really opened it up for the masses, not just those who had access to be able to pay for expensive GPUs. Now, shortly thereafter, there were some other competitors that came out, like Gradient Notebooks, and that's outside the scope of this comparison, but you can always check out Gradient Notebooks. And now, just recently, AWS released Studio Labs, and this video is going to really be about comparing Studio Labs and how it compares to Colab. So let's start off with hardware. So this is the number one thing that we should be concerned about when we're jumping into a notebook is what is the base hardware that we're actually running on. And you can see here, when you go in Studio Labs, you can type this command, NVIDIA SMI, and you can see the hardware that you're going to get for free. So this is a Tesla T4, which is a very valuable GPU. On Google Colab, on the other hand, we can look at what we get. And we can see here, I'm on Colab Pro, which costs $5 a month, and I get a Tesla P100. If you're on the free tier, you're probably going to get a Tesla K80, which is a lot less valuable than the T4. So here's a look at the price comparison between the K80 and the T4. These are the two GPUs on the free tiers. You'll see here the T4 is $3,200 to purchase, and the K80 is only $200. So you can see there's a big difference right there, and in accelerating your training code and your different routines, Studio Labs is probably going to be the better thing to look at there. Now let's talk about shareability. This is where Google Colab really shines. If you want to share a notebook on Google Colab, you can do it just like you share files in your Google Drive. So that's convenient things where you can do things with like anyone who has the link, and you can do things where you share specific people. So that's a lot easier. On Studio Labs, you're going to be back to saving your work and then committing it up to a repository and then having someone else clone it. So that's a little less easier to share for sure. Now in Studio Labs, there's the environment considerations. So when you spin up a Colab instance, a lot of things come including NVIDIA drivers, related libraries, and Python dependencies. And all this kind of just spins up, and you don't even know what installs happen. You started from some base image. Now, in Studio Labs, you'll get the drivers, but you don't get a lot of the other Python dependencies that are going to be coming down with Colab. And so in my opinion, Colab has been pretty frustrating because they'll actually shift the environment underneath you while you're working in it. And so all of a sudden your code breaks because of dependencies. But that's just because Colab shifted the base image that they're spinning up for everybody. And that is not configurable. They will give you a single base image, and that is what you get. Now, with Studio Labs, your installs are saved, and so the next time you start up your environment, that image that you made is gonna spin back up. So I think that aspect is a little bit nicer. But of course, it depends. If you're trying to get started quickly and you don't really care about installs and you just want to start running some tutorials, Colab is probably the better place to work. Next thing is on the UI. I found that the Studio Lab UI is a little bit easier and a little bit more reactive. Colab can sometimes have lag, especially if you have a little bit of network latency. So that's something to consider, but of course something to experiment on your own and kind of develop your own opinions there. And now the last category that I compared here is resources. The Studio Lab resources are phenomenal. There's this new Dive into Deep Learning course, which I'm really excited about. I started working on it a little bit too, and this is kind of where some of the greatest minds in machine learning have kind of come together to build a good course that you can share. And It's been really a joy to be working on that course so far. So ultimately, when should you use SageMaker Studio Labs or Google Colab? So here's kind of what I boiled it down to. If you want to get started quickly and you want to start just getting off to the races, Colab is probably the best place to get started, especially if you want to share something fast and iterate quickly. But if you're doing some more serious machine learning and data science work, you're probably going to want to crack open Studio Labs, get yourself on better hardware, get in a configurable environment, and just kind of work in something where there's a little bit, you can use a little bit more expertise as you wield it. So that's my conclusion on Colab and Studio Labs. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. We come up with all kinds of stuff like this, including other tutorials and other things that you can do on Colab and Studio Labs. And so thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.